What is going on, guys? Corrosive Bullet here, and today we are finally going to be doing our breakdown for the Shenron deck from set 7 of Fusion World. Now, I'm just going to put this out there because a lot of these showcases for a lot of these matches are going to be a little bit of a mishmash. I have been testing with a bunch of different builds and methods and ways to kind of make this work. I've tried this with the 6-cost Gogeta. I've tried this with the with a mixture of all of the important milling cards. I've tried this with right now, my current build that I'm kind of settled on is using this 4-cost baby to play out a 2-cost that'll help me mill and keep up the aggression, right? There's a bunch of different ways that I have been building this deck, and I think currently at this point, this deck is a bit too RNG heavy for me to say that there is a definitive build for this deck. I think that you could probably build it multiple ways, and I think it can work fine, but I think it is just missing some stuff. We know that the manga booster that's coming out, the second manga booster set, is going to have a lot of really good support that is going to really fill out the rest of what this deck needs. It's going to have a bunch of strong bodies. It's going to have cards that will allow you to set yourself up at the top of your deck to get additional effects. It's going to have extra milling options. It's got everything that I think Shenron's going to need going into the manga booster. But for now, there's not much you can really do with this outside of what's here. So let's just kind of talk about what I got going on here, because that was a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to at least give you an idea. So here's my current thought process right now. I'm down to 2 secret rares. The only reason that I brought it down to 2 is because I did have it at 3, and 3 felt like I was seeing this in my hand or in my life or something just a little too much. So I set this down to 2, and maybe that might be one less than you probably should add. So one of this in deck does feel really bad. So I only have this at 2. You can get away with 3. You can get away with 2. It's perfectly fine. Obviously the 7 Dragon Balls. I'm running 3 radars. I'm thinking about maybe bumping this up to 4, because sometimes you just need to be able to, you're at 6 Dragon Balls, you're looking for the last one, you've milled for a turn, you don't find it. Sometimes you just need to have this card on hand and just really find that last Dragon Ball before you deck out. There's just no rhyme. There's nothing else to say about it other than that. 3 of this UI Goku, just because you want to have some extra targets for the Roshi. The Roshi's pretty good for finding this. So 2 of this 5-cost Goku. Only 2 because we want to play this guy off of our Awakening or hard casting it. I would rather have this is a good discard option. It's a good mill option. And this is just for when we already have one on the board. We want to get some combo power, right? I'm down to 3 of this guy. I might bring it down to 2 just because I'm not always playing this, and especially with the new 3-cost support that we're getting next set. I think the new 3-cost support is just going to outright replace this. But I mean, it's still a mill 4, so that's fine. I think the only other thing that I might want to do in terms of this particular build is that maybe I remove this for the Girus instead. Just because the Giru's mill 4 and it's only for 1, so sometimes doing this for 2 just feels a little rough. So maybe I remove this for the Giru instead. But I mean, this is here for the aggressive nature. This is here to get rid of cantrips, and in the mirror, obviously the Bulmas and stuff. 3 of this because obviously there's 2. You can only play this from the drop once. Every other time you're either hard casting or it's just a waste of a mill. And then obviously 4 of the Krillins, 4 of the Bulmas, and some Kamis here. This is what I've currently settled on. I've not fully decided on what I want to do. Honestly, I'm probably not even going to be fully decided until until the manga booster set comes out with all the new support. But I mean, this is a fun deck. I think it's fun. At least it's my level of playstyle. It's my level of jank. It's my level of just randomness. So let's showcase what this guy is and isn't able to do, and just have some fun with this one. All right, so I'm going to start off with this one because this one is just insane. Wait till you see what our starting hand looked like. I believe it's this one. I believe this is the one that. So I had this. So I kept this. right? Because we have a discard option. We can discard one of these Dragon Balls. We have 2 Bulmas. Like, this is like the perfect like starting hand, just right out the gate, which is insane to even think about. Yep, so we're just going to play Bulma. We're going to discard Secret Rare. Put 2 in. And we're going to get 2 Dragon Balls, right? So I'm going to play second Bulma. I'm going to discard one of them. And pull out a Radar and another Bulma. And we're just going to start milling. We're going to go crazy. Now we're going to play third Bulma. Put another Dragon Ball away. So we got another Secret Rare that we can discard going into next turn. We can mill out 2. And we're going to try to hold on to the Goku. And we got our 6th Dragon Ball already. So turn 1, we're at 6 Dragon Balls, which is just insane. Like, this is not the level of RNG that you normally see, which is crazy. Really, really insane turn 1. So if we can mill correctly, we'll be able to play out either this or a Goku turn 2, right? And I want to protect as many of these as I possibly can because I want to keep cycling and being able to mill out, right? So we're going to charge that because we're going to play this. Yep, draw 2. Discard 1. Draw another 2. We can drawing all of our blockers, which kind of sucks. Still we were not able to find what we needed. So we're going to mill 3. So we're down to 9 cards in our deck. We're still unable to find the last Dragon Ball, which is perfectly fine. Like, ideally, we got a baby for next turn, which is great. Or not next turn, but 2 turns from now. I did miss combo here. But I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway, because hopefully by next turn we're going to see what we need, right? And we got what we needed. We are at 7 on turn 3, which ideally that's like the latest that you want to be able to have all your Dragon Balls, right? Yep, so we're going to awaken. We got our second baby. And we're going to play out a 5-cost Goku. So we can mill further. Got one more Dragon Ball going in. We got a marker back. And we're just going to keep swinging. Keep up that offensive pressure. Just keep on pushing. Piccolo's in a really bad spot because he's only at 4 energy, which he'll get to 6 next turn. So, all right, we're going on to our next turn. We got a baby that we can play out. Excuse me. We're going to swing with our 20s. Just slowly mill out his hand where we can. Mill 5 more. We get a blocker out of it. Yep. And then we're going to play Grade 8 Baby into our 2-cost Roshi. Roshi is just a 20k swinger at the end of the day. If this was a milling option, I would prefer to put out a milling option instead of Roshi, but Roshi is there because we need to have some pressure. But now, unfortunately, he is just able to clear our board. And this turn, he just decides to just let's toughen up. Let's just get a bunch of our hand back. Which, you know what? Not a bad strat. Not a bad strat whatsoever. So we don't charge, because there's no reason to charge. Going to recycle our stuff back to the bottom of the deck. Alright, we got a Kami. We got some discard targets, which will probably be a Goku. We'll discard the Goku. Because we want to just keep this offensive pressure. Oh, maybe, I guess we didn't keep the Goku. Interesting. But we got 3 blockers on the board, which is kind of insane to think about. It's just we got so many blockers. And now we got to worry about Beast coming down, right? This is a very long-winded match, guys, which is why we're like really trying to speed this up. So we're going to lose either a baby or the Goku. He decides to get rid of the baby. Which is interesting, because I figured that would be the best target to Beast on. Baby can't really do anything into you, and it's 5k less. So we just got 3 Dragon Balls there, which that was an insane throw, right? So we're going to Awaken before we swing with the Goten Trunks. We're going to play out Baby so we can play out our 2-cost Goku and just continue milling. Baby's getting a lot of work in here. Yep, we're going to play the Bulma. We're going to discard this so we can cycle 2 cards in the hand. We're going to get a Goku for next turn. And then we have an option to play off this. And just keep on milling, keep on milling. And it doesn't really matter if I swing with this or not. So I decided to swing with it because Beast was going to come down anyway. Maybe he gets rid of that again. And we still have blockers on the board too. But then we saw this. And that puts us in a bit of a pickle. Little bit of a pickle. Was not expecting the 7 cost to drop there. So obviously we're just going to try and take every single swing that we can. Blocker comes back out. Mill 4. We're going to get a Goku back in hand, so we're going to get the 5 cost because we're going to need that next turn. Decide to play this, and I think we discard the 10k. Yep. Got some more Dragon Balls. We get the Goku back anyway. And I decided not to swing because he was just going to block anyway. So. And then a weird thing happened here. Let me just double check here. Oh, we got another turn yet. So he decides to freeze our stuff down. Makes perfect sense. So he's on the defensive now. Oh, I didn't play the Goku. I guess I didn't play the Goku because I wanted to get rid of some combo power, and he was just going to redirect that swing anyway. So we're at 6 Dragon Balls again. And we're at 4. So next turn was going to be this. We would put some cards back at the bottom of our deck. I decided to block this just because, like, that's the only block that we can really take. And then for some reason, he just ends turn. And I'm not 100% sure why. Because it's not like we were necessarily guaranteed to, like, win next turn either. But I guess he didn't have the blockers. So, like, if he couldn't go for game, if he couldn't win going in with this, like... Because let's look at this, right? So he's got the 7 cost and the 8 cost. It's 2 50k swings that I would most definitely take. Then he swings with the 20k. Swings with a 20k. We block it. Maybe he combos some of the stuff on the board. We would take that as well. That would take us down to 2. He could then play Gamma from the hand and combo more if he needed to, which could take us down to 1. Then he swings with blocker anyway. Like, he could have tried. I think he could have had a really good chance of doing that, but I guess he got scared. I have no idea. But that was an insane first round. So let's go on to maybe something that's not as smooth. All right, so going into this next one, we end up going into Super Saiyan 4 GT. Again, we want to try. I mean, that's not a great starting hand at all, so we decided to mulligan that. And I mean, it's still not a great hand, but at least we got a radar that we can work with. So we charged Secret Rare. This was when we were running three. This is when we were running 3 of these. So. Again, I said at the beginning of the video that we kind of changed the deck around quite a bit because we were just trying to figure out like what the best cards to keep in the deck were and kind of use. And I think we were running 3 of these as well instead of the 6 cost UIs. Yep, so we played that. Didn't mill anything that was of use to us. So we're just going to pass, and we only have 2 Dragon Balls going into turn 3, so not a great start. That we easily protect. We just combo a 10. Yep. So now we can Bulma. We got Dragon Balls, which is good. But once again, more cards. We also have Satan's that we haven't that we didn't have in the previous match as well. Yep, then we do this. Got a blocker. We can get a Goku back. If we had a Goku, we milled 2 off the top, so now we're kind of really... I was kind of banking on the idea of hoping for a Kami, so we can get a marker, and then we can immediately play this without having to draw off a leader ability. But we were not so lucky, so... Yep, and we just let that go. No reason to protect that. Yep, and here I think we end up playing Secret Rare. We got Marker, which is great. So we're going to play Triple Strike so we can get rid of a Super Saiyan 4. So I swing it here, and I think he takes it. No, he doesn't. He takes this one, and he's trying to... I think he was trying to bait us into going all in, which obviously we were not going to go all in. Not for that. And I decided to hold on to a Bulma just so we have one for next turn. Generates marker back, which is pretty good. And then he passes. So now I'm worried about a ultimate sparking. So I think I swing with the triple strike first. No, I did not. Okay. That's probably a misplay on my part. I probably should have like swung with the triple strike before he ultimate sparking. So we're back up to 3. All right, he's giving us 3 cards there. So he's really got to like start. He's really got to push to go for game here. Triple strike's gone. Makes perfect sense. He's going to swing into our Goku, which we're just going to protect. Yep, and that makes sense. Not sure why he he comboed the Trunks just so he could yeah, and he just gives up here. Because he's very low on hand. We got a couple swings that were coming. We definitely had the Trunks and Goten that were kind of going to be coming up next anyway. So it was going to be a kind of an uphill battle for him at that point. So yeah, I mean, there's just sometimes it just is what it is. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, so this next one's going up against Ultimate Gohan. Decided to throw this in here because I mean we don't see Gohan too often, and he did get some new support. So let's kind of see like how this matchup kind of fares. So we mulligan so we can get some better turn 1 plays. We got 2 Dragon Balls and a Radar, which is great. So we're going to just do our standard shtick, right? Yep. So we start with the Bulma. We go to 10. We get a couple more Dragon Balls. So we are at 5. 5 going into turn 1. We're at 6. Weren't able to find it. We were once again really close to getting an awakening there. Decided to let that go because there's no reason to keep that around. We got Radar, so we can use Radar to, you know, get a triple strike out early. I think we do triple strike, right? All right, I guess we do this. I do this to get some combo power back, which is perfectly fine too. Get the Bulma back for next turn, and then we can use this. We got Radar once again. Again, I want to hammer home. I think Dragon Radar is super, super important in this deck. Because you don't want to get to a point where you just don't have the combo power in hand, right? I did misplay there. I thought that it was this is one of my first matches that I ever did with Shenron. So, I assumed that the ability on this was when I first started playing. I thought it was 2 cards worth up to 7 or add up to a cost of 7, not total cards that add up to 7. I thought it was like limited to 2. So that was a minor misplay, because I could have prevented that Bulma from being taken out there. Yep, so I charged the Bulma. Realistically, I probably shouldn't have charged the Bulma. I probably should have, especially if I was going to get rid of him, right? I probably should have just... Yeah, because there was no guarantee I was going to get that from life. So I probably should have just kept the Bulma and not charged that. Because then I could have double Bulma'd and then Radar'd. Again, we don't have much combo power, so we kind of just let Bulma go. Yeah, but now we're starting to get cards that just don't help us, which kind of sucks. Alright, so we get a blocker, we get a marker. Very, very good. We get a Bulma, which is great. Probably should have used marker for that too. Again, this is one of my first matches that I've done, so like there's a lot of misplays in this particular match. You want to utilize marker as much as possible so that you can get the Kami effects when you mill. Yep, so we're back up to 5. Yeah, but I decided to go up to 55 because I want to, like, force his hand. I want to get his hand down. We have a blocker on board. We have a super combo. We have a bunch of 10Ks. Like, we have stuff to work with here. So then he brings out the new 7 cost extra. And he plays Vegito, which we decide to block 1, because otherwise he's just going to bounce that back. And of course we draw 2 here. Yep, and unfortunately, we just were able to find the last Dragon Ball that we needed in this particular moment. So now we have to go super defensive. And unfortunately, that costs us. Because I think he plays the second one out. Yeah, he played the second one. And that was just GG's at that point. So we just take it. And we can only match him with everything that we got, really. So it didn't really matter. So, pretty good showcase of Gohan there. Was very surprised with how that turned out. We also misplayed a bunch. We charged the wrong things. We had some bad luck on our side in a couple of those turns. So that was just that was more of a like downhill battle for us, unfortunately. But sometimes that just happens with an RNG deck like this. Let's go on to the last one. And surprise, guys, that no Shenron matchup this time in this video, since we're playing Shenron. So, but we are playing Super Saiyan Daima, which I am excited to do a showcase for this guy. Now that we've gone through all of the new leaders that I wanted to showcase from this set. So we will definitely be messing with some retro support going into the next couple videos. So standard fare, nothing too crazy here. Really bad turn one. Didn't really find a whole lot of Dragon Balls, unfortunately. We are drawing our Kamis, which unfortunately hurt us. We can't really protect too much here, so I decided to just let the Bulma go. We get a Goku, which is good. But once again, no Kamis, which kind of sucks. So we only found 3 Dragon Balls. Ideally, we want to try and see our stuff, right? I mean, this combo's pretty good. He broke marker for that, but we just had a super combo, so we just protect this. Nothing too crazy there. Got 2 Dragon Balls there, which is great. I decided to play this. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of the this one of the secret rares. And he can't cheat out evolve cards this early on, so I decided to push. And there's one of our Dragon Balls. We get a blocker, which is good. But we have to pass there. But we at least have a Dragon Radar, which we can use next turn to go into the next one, right? Alright, so he's going wide for this, which is perfectly fine. I'm okay with defending this. And we can't defend that, which is unfortunate. Yep, so we get our Goku back anyway, which is great going to the next turn. So we awaken. And we play Triple Strike because we can get rid of the entire board with it. Decided to try and put him down to 3. We get one more Dragon Ball, which isn't bad. We just swing triple, because we know that's going to thin his hand out anyway. We're still at 7 life, so I'm not really too concerned about, you know, losing here. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a good means of being able to, you know, get around our board at the moment. Yep, we got a blocker. It's pretty good. Play Bulma. We can ditch this to go less aggro, which is perfectly fine. Draw 2. We get a marker, which is pretty nice. Had to use 2 supers for that, so he is now hurting pretty good. We kind of just let this go because we want it, just in case he goes into like our secret rare or something. I don't want us to lose our secret rare, so we're holding this just on the off chance. Which we do just protect. And he decides to give up. So, yeah. Yeah, let's just wrap up the video because this is probably a little bit longer because of that first match. So, let's go on to the credits. So that is going to be the deck profile and showcase for Black Shenron. We will revisit this deck when the new Manga Booster support comes out, because I think it's going to be a completely different ball game from where it's currently kind of standing. But as it kind of stands, it's a super high rolly deck. If you were able to see your pieces and pop off like we were able to in a lot of our matches, Shenron could actually do a lot of work and actually do really well. And I feel like that's going to be a lot better going into the Manga Booster set, just due to the fact that the cards that we're getting in the Manga Booster set are actually going to help you control the RNG a little bit more, or at least tweak the RNG to better work in your favor, right? The new Tao Pai Pai. Yeah. The new Tao will allow you to take a dead card that's in your hand normally, place it on top of your deck, KO something on your opponent's board, and then mill it. You got the 3-cost Red Ribbon Robot that will let you mill once per turn, and then you can swing for 35 for 3 energy. Really, really strong. And then obviously we also have the 2-cost General Blue, who can't be attacked into by 3 costs or less, or the leader. So that's a very consistent piece on the board that's going to mill you 2 cards every turn that like can't be, you know, attacked into. So I think there's going to be a lot of support for this deck coming into the next set, and I think it's actually going to make this deck even better. But this is a high rolling deck, and if your luck is bad, then you're not going to do well with this. I would highly advise players not run this on the rank ladder, just because of how inconsistent it absolutely can be. But if you want to like do like event matches with this, if you want to play against you know, some friends in the lobby, I am curious to test this out in select match. I feel like select match, this could be an interesting build since you're automatically guaranteed the Dragon Balls in your deck. So who knows? Maybe that's something that you could work off of. Maybe that's something you could do, right? But all in all, I love this deck. Whether it's good or not, I love RNG. I love randomness. And this is the closest thing to like a luck deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! That you can get in this game. So I definitely like this deck. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Again, this is our build, our current build. Grade 8 Baby did a whole lot of work. Having combo power with this is really good. Like I said, probably remove the Dendays for the 1-drop Girus, because I think the Girus are just for the energy that you're paying into it. Like this is like that's just more consistent. For 2 energy, getting 8 instead of 5 off this. I mean, this is fine. Bulma's fine. This is fine. The 1-drop Hercules can be helpful, but sometimes they just came up as dead cards in my hand that I couldn't really use. Like you need a marker for those. Gogeta isn't terrible to use in this because it's a good high-cost body that actually like feels good to play out for free. So I definitely am not opposed to that either. Yeah, again, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this deck to kind of make it a bit more consistent, whether you want to go aggro or control or whatever the case may be. So, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Like and subscribe for more Fusion World content, and I will see you guys all in the next Fusion World video. Peace.